A reported burglary early this morning in Tip City turned deadly as a 7th grade volleyball coach was killed in her own home.
Her husband and 2 children survived the ordeal, and now police are searching for a suspect.
He stood on that stage every single Sunday, Bible in hand, leading his congregation in worship, talking about faith, love, commitment. The whole town looked up to this man. And while his wife sat in those pews, trusting him completely, he was living a whole other life. And when Ashley started to figure it out, she sent her friend one last message: "I can't anymore." Hours later, she was dead, shot inside her own home, her 2 little girls sleeping down the hall. This is the story of Ashley Flynn, and I promise you, this one is going to stay with you. Tip City, Ohio, small town, quiet streets, the kind of place where people still wave at each other from their front porches and leave their doors unlocked at night because nothing ever happens there. That is the world Ashley Flynn called home. Ashley was 37 years old, a substitute teacher, a middle school volleyball coach, a mother to 2 young daughters, and if you ask anybody in that town who knew her, they will tell you the same thing without even thinking about it. She was kind, not regular kind. The kind where people genuinely stop what they are doing just to talk about how good of a person you were. Her pastor described her as one of the kindest souls to ever grace this planet, and you don't say something like that lightly. You have to earn that. Ashley poured into her students. She poured into her players. She poured into her church. She was the type of woman a community is built around, and Tip City knew it. Now, her husband, Caleb Flynn, 39 years old, was a worship leader and music pastor at their church, Christian Life Center. Girl, this man had a whole presence. He had a voice. He even auditioned for American Idol back in 2013. So we are talking about someone who stood in front of a congregation every single Sunday, leading praise and worship, speaking about faith and love and commitment. The whole town respected this family. From the outside looking in, Ashley and Caleb were a solid church couple doing life in a small town where people actually cared about each other. 2 daughters, community, support, faith, the picture of everything, right? But let me tell you something. There was another woman at that church. Her name was Aaliyah Botner, also a worship leader. Every single Sunday, she and Caleb would stand on that same stage, side by side, singing and leading the congregation in praise, right in front of Ashley, right in front of the whole church. And according to what investigators uncovered later, the 2 of them had been having an affair for months. Like, let that land for a second. This man is a pastor. He is married. He has 2 daughters. And week after week, he is up on that stage next to the woman he is sleeping with, singing about God's love and faithfulness, while his wife is sitting right there in the building, watching, trusting, believing the man she married was exactly who he said he was. Oh, so now we are going to stand on the altar and lie. Okay. At some point, Ashley started feeling it. She confided in close friends that things in her marriage were not right. She told people she was struggling. She opened up, and the very last message she sent to a close friend said exactly this: "I can't anymore." Think about those words, "I can't anymore." That is not someone venting about a bad week. That is someone who has been carrying something heavy for a long time and has finally reached her limit. The people closest to her knew she was hurting, but nobody, not one soul, could have predicted what was about to happen next. Here is where the timeline gets specific. In the hours leading up to Ashley's death, Caleb was in heavy communication with an unidentified woman through texts and encrypted messaging apps. And the closer it got to midnight, the more frequent those messages became. More texts, more back and forth, ramping up as the night went on, moving on. Because here is the part that does not sit right with anybody. Investigators later recovered deleted messages from a digital trash folder on Caleb's phone. He tried to get rid of them, but digital forensics do not work like that. Those conversations were pulled back, recovered, and placed into evidence, and they confirmed the affair had been running alongside Sunday services, family dinners, and bedtime prayers with his daughters. Prosecutors looked at those deleted messages and called it exactly what it was: tampering. Because when you are deleting communications right around the time your wife ends up dead, that raises questions, big ones. And then, at 12:42 in the morning, a text went out from Caleb's device. 5 words. It's almost done. What's almost done, Caleb? Because less than 2 hours after that message was sent, a 911 call came in from the Flynn household, and it wasn't reporting a domestic, it was reporting a burglary. A burglary in quiet little Tip City, where nothing ever happens. Ashley Flynn was found shot inside her own home. 2 shots to the head. Her 2 daughters were in that house, unharmed physically, but they were there, in the same house, while their mother was killed. And the burglary story, it had holes in it from the very start. Let me paint this picture for you. It is late Monday morning. Tip City is asleep. The streets are empty. The Flynn home is quiet. 2 little girls are in their beds. And on Caleb's phone, messages are flying back and forth, texts, encrypted apps, picking up speed the closer it gets to midnight. Then at 12:42 a.m., that message goes out. It's almost done. And sometime after that, Ashley Flynn was shot twice in the head inside her own home. The woman who spent her days teaching kids, coaching volleyball, showing up for her daughters, her church, her community, gone. Just like that. 37 years old. Now, when that 911 call came in, the story was a burglary. Somebody broke in, something went wrong, a stranger, a random attack. That is what was reported, and for a moment that is what people believed, because in a town like Tip City, what else would you think? But here is the thing, that story started falling apart almost immediately. Tip City police responded to that scene, and right away, this case pulled in serious attention. We are not just talking local police. The FBI got involved. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Miami County Sheriff's Office, all of them stepping in. And when that many agencies show up to a case in a small town, that tells you something. They already knew this was not a random burglary. Police Chief Gregory Atkins addressed the public directly.
The investigation continues to move forward. I realize the investigation is maybe not moving forward as fast as what residents want to see. However, we are doing our due diligence to make sure that in a complex case like this, that we are collecting all the evidence and we're following the evidence. We're not following hunches or misinformation. So residents, just all I can say is rest assured that we are doing everything in our power and the resources that we have available. We have also reached out to the Miami County Sheriff's Office, the Miami County Prosecutor's Office, and the Dayton FBI Office, who are also assisting us to not only for manpower purposes, but also additional resources and expertise in certain fields that can help in this situation. And we are doing the best we can to get the information out and the correct information out to avoid speculation or misinformation out there.
Saying, as previously stated, the family and community deserve a thorough, professional, and compassionate investigation into this very sensitive matter. And they meant it because they went to work. The first thing that fell apart was the scene itself. Investigators looked at the evidence and it did not point to a stranger. It did not point to a break-in gone wrong. It pointed to someone who was already inside that house. someone who knew Ashley, someone close to her. Then the digital forensics came in, and that is when everything cracked wide open. They pulled Caleb's phone records, found the heavy communication with the unidentified woman leading up to that night, found the encrypted messaging apps, and they found what he tried to delete. Those conversations sitting in a digital trash folder, recovered every single one. Those messages gave investigators a full timeline, a pattern, a trail of communication that ran right up to the moment Ashley was killed. And that 12:42 a.m. text, "It's almost done," became the center of this case because it did not read like something said in panic. It did not read like a man discovering his wife had been attacked. It read like someone checking in on a plan that was already in motion. Someone on the other end of that phone knew what was coming. Anyways, combine that with the staged burglary, the affair, the deleted messages, and a 911 call that reported a home invasion when there never was one. And the picture got very, very clear. 3 days. That is how long it took. 3 days from the morning Ashley was found to the moment police made their move. Caleb Flynn was arrested on Thursday and charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence. He pleaded not guilty.
The court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Samuel Hubbard presiding. You may be seated.
All right, this is case 26 CRA 285, Caleb C. Flynn. Mr. Flynn, you have several charges here. Count 1 is a murder charge, is a felony of the first degree. Count 2 is 2 and 3 are both felonious assault charges, second degree felonies. Count 4 is tampering with evidence, a third degree felony. And that's count 4. Count 5 is tampering with evidence, a third degree felony. Mr. Falker?
Your Honor, Mr. Flynn would tender pleas of not guilty and would ask for this matter to be scheduled for a preliminary hearing. Mr. Flynn is residing in Tip City. He doesn't own a commercial flooring company. He is not on probation or community control. He has no charges pending against him and has no criminal history. He would ask the court to establish reasonable bonds.
Mr. Flynn, we're going to set your case for a preliminary hearing for next week on February 26th at 1 p.m. You do have the right to have an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford one, you can apply to the public defender's office and they'll determine if you're eligible for a court-appointed attorney. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the court with regards to a bond in this case?
I'm so sorry you cut out there.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the court with respect to bond in this case?
I don't really understand that, so no,
Okay,
sir.
so the court has to establish a bond, sir, to ensure your appearance, okay? So the court will establish a bond and you have the right to tell me, hey, I'm not a flight risk, I am a flight risk, or anything of that nature. Is there anything you would want to tell me about that?
Sir, I just want to take care of my daughters. I'm not at risk.
I understand. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, the court is going to order a $2 million blanket bond in this case, covering all of your charges. Should you post bond in this case, the court will order that you be on pretrial services electronically monitored house arrest. Furthermore, the court will order that you will have no contact whatsoever, directly or indirectly through a third party with. You are not permitted to speak to them in any way, shape, or form. That includes electronic communications. You are not allowed to communicate through family members whatsoever. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you, sir.
His bond was set at $2 million. The man who stood on that stage every Sunday as a worship leader, the man who once auditioned for American Idol, the man who called himself a pastor, sitting in a jail cell, charged with killing the mother of his children. So what? He thought nobody would look twice at the burglary story. He thought deleting those messages was enough, but hey, digital forensics do not forget. And neither does a small town. The community was devastated, and not just the people who knew Ashley personally. People who had never even met her were grieving. One community member said it plainly. The daughters didn't just lose a mom, now they've lost a dad. Another person said, it's just sad that Ashley lost her life over something so silly. Like, what do you even say to that? Because they are right. All of it. The affair, the lies, the staged crime scene, and 2 little girls are the ones paying the price for all of it. Officials confirmed the 911 call, and body camera footage had not yet been released, pending proper procedures, but legal analysts were already weighing in, pointing to the digital evidence, the encrypted messages, the recovered deleted conversations, as what would likely determine whether this was a heat of the moment act or something that was planned well in advance. And when you look at that text one more time, sent almost 2 hours before the 911 call, it is very hard to argue that nobody saw this coming. Somebody knew. Somebody was on the other end of that phone. And investigators were still working to place every piece of this in its proper place. Now I need you to sit with this part for a second. 2 little girls went to sleep that night with both their parents in the house. They woke up and their mother was gone. And the man who called 911 was their father, the man who was supposed to be their safe place, their protector, the one person in this world who was supposed to make sure nothing ever happened to them or their mother. Make it make sense, because those babies did not ask for any of this. They did not do a single thing wrong, and now they have to carry the weight of that night for the rest of their lives. No mother at the breakfast table, no mother at their volleyball games, no mother to hold them when the world gets too heavy. And their father behind bars, charged with being the reason she is gone. Both parents in one night gone. The community did what tight communities do. They showed up. A woman named Sarah Kaler started taking orders for handmade shirts. The phrase on every single one of them, "Live like Ashley," and people responded. Over $2,500 raised for those 2 girls. Strangers reaching out asking for Ashley's quotes to be added to the shirts. People who never even met her holding her memory close, because that is the kind of woman she was. Even in death, she was still pulling people together. A celebration of life was planned for Ashley at Christian Life Center in Dayton, the same church where she worshiped, where she served, where she sat in those pews every Sunday, trusting the man standing on that stage. And for those who never knew Ashley personally, they were still thinking about those girls, because at the end of the day, that is what this whole story comes back to. 2 children, 2 daughters who deserved a mother, who deserved a father, who deserved better than what they were handed that night. Girl, I have said it before, and I will say it again. The person you share your home with should be your safest place, not your greatest threat. Ashley was not taken by a stranger. She was not a victim of random violence. She was killed inside her own home by someone she loved, while her children slept down the hall. And her last words to a friend were, "I can't anymore." She knew something was wrong. She felt it. She said it out loud. And that is the part that does not let you go, because sometimes people tell us exactly where they are, and we just do not have enough time to reach them before it is too late. So if someone in your life is telling you they are not okay, hear them. Not halfway, fully. Because those words, "I can't anymore," were not just a message, they were a cry, and Ashley deserved someone to answer it in time. I said what I said. Ashley Flynn was a teacher, a coach, a mother, a friend. She spent her life pouring into everyone around her, her students, her players, her daughters, Her church, she gave and gave and gave, and Tip City will never be the same without her. Live like Ashley, that is what those shirts say. And honestly, that is the only good thing that can come out of something this devastating. Remember how she loved. Remember how she showed up. Let that be the thing that outlasts the pain. If this story hit you the way it hit me, share it. Because Ashley's story deserves to be told, and her daughters deserve to know that the world did not look away. If you or someone you know is in a dangerous situation at home, please reach out. You are not alone, and you do not have to carry it by yourself. We will see you on the next one.